Bodies of 4 men found in shallow graves in downtown Kingston. Dispute over alleged bad driving said to be cause of shootout in Montego Bay today. Local government minister Desmond McKenzie bemoans continued acts of brutality following killing of 3 people in St. Anne yesterday. And Jamaica fails to improve in 2022 trafficking in persons report ranking, remaining at tier 2. The bodies of 4 men have been found in shallow graves near the old Public Works Department building in downtown Kingston. Reports said that 3 bodies were found in one grave while the other was found in a separate grave. Reports are that the bodies were dismembered. The discovery comes as a major operation continues in the area involving several police units, including the Canine Division. The area has been cordoned off. Police have been investigating the disappearance of the 4 men since the weekend. A dispute over alleged bad driving is said to be the cause of a shootout between 2 licensed firearm holders in Montego Bay, St. James earlier today. A video of the incident has gone viral on social media. The video shows 2 men at times hiding behind vehicles and walking around vehicles and shooting at each other. The shootout occurred in the vicinity of Sam Sharp Square and caused traffic to temporarily come to a standstill. The St. James police report that both men have been hospitalized with gunshot wounds. The wounds are not considered serious. 1 man was shot in his hand while the other was shot in the foot. Investigations are ongoing. And Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has chastised citizens who engage in road rage and promised that the new road traffic legislation will help curb such behavior. Speaking in Parliament today, Mr. Chuck referred to a shooting incident in Montego Bay, St. James today, in which 2 licensed firearm holders opened gunfire on each other. It's reported that the shootout stemmed from allegations of bad driving.
There's no doubt this Parliament and the country awaits the full implementation of the Road Traffic Act 2018. Because, Madam Speaker, the lawlessness, the chaos and the carnage that we have on the roads every day must cease. There's no doubt that every day, including today, there's road rage. I see a video circulating today, Madam Speaker, in St. James, where just motorists literally shooting at one another because of a traffic congestion. Now, Madam Speaker, there's no doubt that we see the indiscipline that occurs on the road. And to be sure, Madam Speaker, we need these road traffic regulations and the Act itself to come into operation so that the work of the police can be improved.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie has bemoaned continued acts of brutality that plague the island, robbing it of hard-working citizens. He was reacting to the murder of an employee of the St. Anne Municipal Corporation and her relatives in Freehill Bamboo yesterday. Dead are 46-year-old Anitra Ratri, her son, 13-year-old Michael Bonito, and 50-year-old Lawrence Badal. Ratri was a cook at the Ocherias Drop-In Centre. Speaking in Parliament this afternoon, Mr. McKenzie described Ratri as a dedicated worker.
It is not a good period for local government because, again, Madam Speaker, yesterday an employee of a St. Anne Municipal Corporation who worked as a cook in our drop-in centre was brutally murdered along with her 13-year-old son and another relative in the Freehill in Bamboo in St. Anne. Madam Speaker, she was a dedicated worker and was someone who worked hard to finance and to ensure that education was made available to her children, Madam Speaker. And it is a brutal and a cruel way for one to die, Madam Speaker. And I know the local government fraternity, especially those within the Poor Relief Department, is mourning her loss. And I want to be associated with that, Madam Speaker. And I know the member of Parliament, our dear friend, would also agree with me, Madam Speaker.
He said that crime and violence are of no benefit to the country.
Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate that day after day we continue to see acts of brutality that begs the question, where are we going as a nation. And I would want us, Madam Speaker, as a country and as a parliament to collectively unite, come together, Madam Speaker, because what is taking place in Jamaica is of no benefit to Jamaica, Madam Speaker. No one wins, especially those who, think otherwise. But I would use the parliament, Madam Speaker, in paying tribute to say that Jamaica needs to take stock and let us take back our country from those who seek to destroy this beautiful island of ours.
Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie. The St. Anne Police have expressed confidence in their ability to reduce crime in the parish. Head of the St. Anne Police Division, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, said his team has increased their crime reduction strategies and they are seeing positive results. He noted that 26 murders have been reported in the parish so far this year, one more than last year's figure from the corresponding period. Despite the slight increase, SSP Powell assured that the crime reduction strategies being employed in St. Anne are working.
I'm still pretty confident that we have been doing a tremendous job in terms of crime reduction. So since the start of this year, we are seeing 26 murders as against 25 for the corresponding period last year. That is just one above or 4% when compared to period last year. But it is important that I indicate to you that last year, St. Anne managed to reduce, especially murders, by some 24%. So we are still at a point where we can be still grateful for what is happening in terms of our crime reduction strategies.
Noting that there were challenges in addressing the issue of robberies in the past, SSP Powell said the police are making strides in this category of crime.
I'm happy to indicate that we have seen a curtailing of recent robberies and we are making some significant inroad. Again, we want to use the opportunity to ask the residents of St. Anne to continue to partner with the law enforcement official. We are committed to the task of ensuring that this parish remains a safe one, but we know we cannot do it alone, so we are asking for community participation or an intervention so that together we can find a solution for the issues that is affecting us.
Head of the St. Anne Police Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell. Jamaica has not improved in its ranking on the 2022 Trafficking in Persons report. The country remains at Tier 2 on the ranking, which was released at midday. More in the report from Donique Weston.
The ranking indicates that the government of Jamaica does not fully meet the minimum standards for the elimination of trafficking, but is making significant efforts to do so. The government demonstrated overall increasing efforts compared to the previous reporting period, considering the impact of the pandemic on its anti-trafficking capacity. Therefore, Jamaica remained at Tier 2. Efforts made included identifying more victims, including survivors of labor trafficking, and making arrests for the illegal operation of private employment agencies. Despite these improvements, however, the government did not meet the minimum standards in several key areas. The report noted that convicted traffickers received suspended prison sentences and fines, penalties that were not on par with the severity of their crimes. Additionally, no victim was awarded restitution, among other shortcomings. As such, the U.S. Department of State is recommending that Jamaica fully implements the screening tools and the referral mechanism to increase the proactive identification and referral of suspected trafficking victims among vulnerable groups. It says Jamaica must increase efforts to provide more victims with comprehensive services, including legal, medical, psychosocial, shelter, case management, and reintegration assistance. The country must also increase efforts to investigate, prosecute, and convict traffickers. A recommendation has also been made for government to amend the anti-trafficking laws to prescribe penalties for sex trafficking that are commensurate with penalties for other serious crimes. Reporting for IRIE FM News, I am Donique Weston.
Meantime, Jamaica's National Rapporteur on Trafficking in Persons, Diane Gordon Harrison, said the country has made some strides in combating human trafficking despite remaining at Tier 2 on the global list. She said the report shows that Jamaica is consistent in its efforts despite the challenges of the past year. Mrs. Gordon Harrison notes that with restrictions surrounding COVID-19 now lifted, Jamaica should be in good stead to aim for Tier 1 next year.
Yes, we continue to be at Tier 2. And while, some may see it as stagnation, from where I see it as consistency. This report speaks about what happened, particularly during the pandemic. And so with resources being stretched, with personnel who are at the front line of the anti-human trafficking fight in Jamaica falling prey themselves to COVID-19, there were staff shortages at particular times, and so critical activities were delayed. I don't see it as a negative blight. I see it, however, as a recognition of the efforts that we continue to make.
The National Rapporteur agreed with the 2022 trafficking report, which suggested that there is room for improvement in the provision of services to victims of human trafficking in Jamaica.
I think there is room for much more improvement. When we speak about doing a needs analysis of a victim, yes, there is good merit in providing them with shelter and, food and so on. But then sometimes, there may be things that arise after the placement that could deal with a little bit of a closer look. And so I think that there is room for improvement there, but I don't think it would be fair to say that there are no support services provided. In fact, Jamaica has prided itself on taking a victim-centered approach, which is the victim is put at the heart of the response, and depending on what that victim needs, there are these things that are provided.
Jamaica's National Rapporteur on Trafficking in Persons, Diane Gordon Harrison. 51 more people have tested positive for COVID-19, pushing the case count to 144,932. Of the new cases, 30 are females and 21 are males. They range in age from 13 days to 96 years. The positivity rate is 20.8%. Meantime, the health ministry is reporting one more coincidental death. 86 people are hospitalized with the virus. 17 of them are moderately ill. 3 are severely ill and 3 are critically ill. 122 more people have recovered. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Matthew Samuda, said the Jamaican Path from Hills to Ocean project will improve the management of water in the country. Speaking at the launch of the project this morning, Mr. Samuda said the move will lessen the concerns of drought in sections of the island. While noting that these issues are as a result of climate change, Mr. Samuda said the initiative will also ensure that the commitment to the fight against climate change is executed.
We are in the throes of climate change. It is not future-proofing. It is about survival today. It is about creating the base of our economic prosperity today. Because the climate has changed and the weather patterns have already changed. And my colleague from the Met Service will tell you just how erratic some of the patterns are looking. Every time I get an email from them, I gulp. Now, here I am taking a deep breath at 5 a.m. when I look at the rain report because I'm not seeing the projection of rainfall, certainly in the southeast of the island. And that itself should tell you why this project and projects like this is so important.
He argued that if measures such as these are not implemented to fight climate change, the country's environmental targets will not be met.
To quote a friend of mine, it's action that going to do that, right? And that's just the reality. And we have a long way to go. It's certainly my hope that Jamaica will be able to establish itself as a center of excellence for environmental management, climate change mitigation, and climate change adaptation. That means we have a lot of action to take. Now, establishing ourselves as a center of excellence, and whatever imagery that brings to your mind, will require a lot of work. But it's not just important because we want to stand up on the international stage and say, we did that. It's terribly important because we have to lift our people out of poverty.
Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Matthew Samuda. He made the plea for all stakeholders and sectors to join forces as the country is in a race against time. The project is partly funded by a grant from the European Union, Global Climate Change Alliance Plus, as well as a contribution from the government. In news just in, police have confirmed that they have been called to a location on Beechwood Avenue in Kingston, where reports are that an entertainer was found unresponsive. Reports to RFM News are that since the weekend, the entertainer indicated that he was not feeling well. He was found unresponsive sometime today. We will have more information in upcoming newscasts.